War did not begin with soldiers. It began with payment. In ancient states, armies existed long before systems did. But scale changed everything. By the 5th century BCE, Athens could not rely on loyalty alone. It needed wages, daily wages. The moment war required regular pay, war stopped being a decision. It became an expense. Once war had a cost, someone had to manage delay between spending and return. That delay became power. Rome did not conquer by strength alone. It conquered by scheduling. By the 1st century BCE, a Roman legionnaire was paid regularly, not in victory, in advance. The state promised future spoils to justify present debt. Taxes were delayed. Loot was projected. Costs were immediate. War became a rolling obligation. As long as expansion continued, the system held. When expansion slowed, payment did not. Debt stayed. Trust cracked. By the Middle Ages, kings rarely paid armies themselves. They borrowed. Italian bankers financed campaigns across Europe. War was underwritten, not owned. A crown no longer needed gold. It needed credibility. If the war succeeded, debt vanished into conquest. If it failed, the state defaulted. The battlefield decided interest rates. Power shifted quietly, from swords to lenders. In the 16th century, Spain ruled continents. Silver poured in from the Americas. Wars were paid in advance, with metal not yet mined. The system assumed time would cooperate. It did not. Between 1557 and 1596, Spain defaulted repeatedly, not from lack of resources, from delay. Silver arrived late. Costs arrived early. Empires do not collapse when money ends. They collapse when timing fails. Britain learned from failure. In 1694, it created a permanent debt structure, not to avoid war, to afford endless war. The state stopped paying wars outright. It refinanced them. Bonds replaced taxes. Time replaced gold. Citizens funded wars they would never see end. War became predictable. That made it scalable. This was not strength. It was accounting. Napoleon paid armies fast. He paid suppliers faster. Speed was his advantage. But speed consumed reserves. War moved quicker than taxation, quicker than borrowing. By 1812, logistics collapsed before armies did. The system failed silently, not on the battlefield. In supply chains, war had outgrown its financing model. World War I could not be paid for traditionally. So states invented money. Currencies were detached from reality. Debt exploded. War was no longer funded. It was deferred. Entire generations were assigned the bill. Victory did not end cost. It multiplied it. War stopped being an event. It became a permanent economic condition. Modern wars rarely require public sacrifice. No rationing. No taxes. Debt absorbs everything. The cost is delayed, abstracted, outsourced. Citizens feel nothing. Markets feel everything. War continues because it no longer interrupts life. That is the system. Empires once fell when they ran out of gold. Now they fall when trust expires. War today is paid for by time not yet lived, by people not yet aware. Nothing breaks immediately. That is what makes it dangerous. Because a system that hides cost does not remove it. It only delays collapse.